Good morning. Let me just adjust my camera stand and position. That's better. Right, I think I'm trying to get it straight. Hello. I'm almost on time. Had a bit of a to-do this morning with background stuff that I could have done without, but hey, I'm here more or less on time. I said I'd be here about 11:30. Just pouring myself a slurp of coffee. Cheers. So the request that I had from my lovely friend Mel was to focus on healing and positivity, and I said yes. And then I thought about it. I thought, oh dear, hang on a minute, because both those words can be associated with things that I definitely don't want to really be associated with. The word healing can bring up very dubious images of, charismatic spiritual healers, laying on of hands and all that sort of thing that the American evangelical TV stations are full of, and that's not me. And positivity can evoke images of inspirational speakers, telling you that, all you need is to think positive and everything will be okay. And actually, that's not really me either. Although if you know anything about me at all, you will know that I'm very much on the line of you get more of what you focus on. And so if you can find something positive to focus on, it's bound to make you feel better. So let's start with the basics. What does the word healing actually mean? And I'm going to take it further back and say, okay, healing means that you're healthy. What does it mean to be healthy? The one thing healthy does not mean is a complete absence of illness, because otherwise there are virtually the entire population of the world would be classified as unhealthy because of the proliferation of chronic ill health, heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, long COVID, mental health problems. I don't think I know anyone who has no health issues at all, which means that no one can really classify themselves as completely healthy. Therefore, by definition, they all need to be healed. And that's the last time you're going to hear me use that phrase, because that's not what I'm about. Excuse me. Right, let's get rid of that frog. That's better. So, what is healing? Healing, to be distinguished from curing somebody, because I do not claim to cure anybody. A cure means somebody has no ill health, has no illnesses at all. Healing means that within the limits of your health issues, you are leading a full and active life. You're able to do what you want and what you need to do. And that is vastly different, because, as many of you will know, I know a wonderful group of people who suffer from cerebral palsy, which means they suffer from learning issues, they suffer from mobility issues. Some of them have got extremely limited movement, but that doesn't mean that they can't be as healthy as possible within the limits of what can be done, given the lack of movement or whatever. Because healing although the image brings, the images of somebody laying on hands, actually, healing is something that comes from inside you. When you decide that you are going to cooperate with the healing, whatever modality that you've opted to choose. Now, this can mean that you agree with your doctor that you're going to take certain medication. It can mean that you agree with the therapist that you are going to be consistent in studying cognitive behavioural therapy and looking at your thoughts. It can mean deciding that, okay, I'm not physically fit enough, so I am going to make regular exercise a part of my day. Healing is a decision that comes from inside you. When you recognise that the only person who can deal with your problems is you. Now, that may mean accepting the mobility limitations or the dietary limitations or the side effects of tablets that are necessary to keep a chronic illness under control, and still looking at what you can do rather than what you can't do. And that's where positivity comes in. And that is where a therapy like Reiki is so brilliant. Because when you mention Reiki, you cannot mention Reiki without looking at the power of intention. And the same is true of anything that you do for your health and well-being. What is your intention in deciding to eat a piece of fruit rather than a biscuit? What is your intention in deciding that you're going to spend 10 minutes doing some meditation? What is your intention in deciding to do some Qigong? What is your intention in watching this video? Whether you're watching live, hi Carl, or whether you're catching it on catch up. Why are you doing it? Because you know that there might be something in here that can help you be healthier than you are. And that is why Reiki is so brilliant. Just to reiterate something I said before, anybody, and I mean anybody, and that means you, if you're watching this, can be attuned to use Reiki on themselves. And because the power of intention is so strong, if you've got limited movement in your hands and arms, doesn't matter. Because if you're attuned to Reiki, you can use the power of your intention, open up mentally to the flow of Reiki, and ask for the Reiki to give you the healing that you need. Generally, the phrase is healing that is for your highest and greatest good. It is that simple. Now, Reiki is probably the most esoteric of my healing modalities. It's the one that's probably got the least scientific basis to back it up. And when I first got into Reiki, my fellow pharmacists, because I used to be a pharmacist, some of them were almost abusive towards me. Someone with a scientific background could even dabble in something like Reiki. But I now want to talk about the power of the placebo effect, which is something that has got huge scientific basis. Placebo literally means I please. And it means that when you do something, you get a pleasing effect. Now, the opposite of it is a nocebo effect, which basically characterises side effects of drugs. But the placebo effect is something that anyone involved in medicine has known about for a long, long time, because we all know that when you trial a drug, you have an active drug and you have an inactive drug. And it is known that the inactive drug can provide the same effect as the active one. It is known now that placebo surgery on the knees can provide the same effect in terms of relief of pain as actual more invasive surgery would do. The act of taking a tablet or going for a walk or making a food choice or deciding to meditate or using Reiki, and this is why I never mind being told that Reiki is all a placebo, can set off physiological effects in your body that can cause healing to some degree to occur. And the placebo effect very much lies at this mind-body interface that Western medicine is just getting to grips with. And certainly, I have no compunction at all about saying that's really where Reiki lies. Because when someone opts to have a Reiki treatment, or if they're attuned to Reiki, to spend some time giving themselves Reiki self-healing, if the intention is there, then that will set off certain physiological responses to relieve pain, to relieve depression, all these sorts of things that can be so helpful. No, it's not going to cure your type 1 diabetes, and it's not going to cure your cancer, but it can help relieve the underlying issues that your diabetes or your cancer causes. And that is why I was really quite pleased when I got this request. Thank you, Mel, to talk about healing and the power of positivity, because actually that is at the core of every single stream that I do. When I ask you to join me in a bit of mindfulness meditation, which I probably will do in a moment, I'm asking you to have an intention to do something for yourself. And in the end, you are the only one who can take the steps that can provide you with the healing that you need and that you want. And I repeat, anybody can be attuned to Reiki. Anybody can meditate. You don't need me. It's up to you to decide it's something that's worth doing for you. Same with Qigong. Anybody can do Qigong once you know the basic principles and the moves. You don't need me. You can do it for yourself. And basically, if you don't do healing for yourself, no one else can do it for you. So, whether it's Reiki, whether it's Qigong, whether it's meditation, they are different forms of healing, alternative and complementary medicine. I dislike the term alternative because everything I do can quite happily be used alongside conventional medical treatment, and there's no reason the two can't be used together. certain things that I recommend are now recommended by the medical establishment. They know the importance of mindfulness. They know the importance of gentle exercises like Tai Chi, yoga and Qigong. I do not pretend that the therapies I'm trained in are the only ones. If something I say doesn't really resonate with you, that's fine. Go look elsewhere. I'm not going to take offence. But in the end, it's up to you to use your mind to help you make the decisions, to take decisions that will help you become healthier, if that's what you want. And I'm not going to judge you if that means taking medication for depression or taking medication for pain. I have taken medication for depression. I regularly take medication for pain. Doesn't mean I don't still use Reiki, Qigong and all the other things to reduce my need for that medication, so I avoid the side effects. But the power of positivity comes when you are doing something and you believe it will work for you, and that is the placebo effect in action. They have shown, there have been studies, and this was something I was told back when I was doing my pharmacy training, and we're going back to almost ancient history here, back to the 1970s. I was told during my training that studies had shown that red tablets were more effective painkillers than white ones or blue ones. That is the placebo effect in action. I used to do a lot of clinical trials, be involved in lots of clinical trials in my work at the QE in Birmingham. And I vividly remember one trial where the placebo effect had a greater effect, had a greater impact than the active drug, which, as the active drug was something that was meant to prevent rejection after transplants, was quite amazing. Clearly the active drug was doing something wasn't doing what it was meant to be doing with the immune system, but the placebo effect was helping the person's immune system to avoid rejection. And your thoughts do affect things like your immune system, your nervous system, the chemicals floating around in your body. And if your thoughts can affect that, obviously, if you're thinking positive thoughts, that's going to be better for you than thinking negative ones. And that leads into another area that's very popular among, the health gurus, which is, having an attitude of gratitude and keeping a gratitude journal. And there's a lot to recommend that. So I will do a short mindfulness meditation if you want to join in. And but before I do, I'm going to reiterate something important. If any of these videos of mine that you watch, if there's anything that you want to know more about, would like to talk to me one-to-one, feel free, DM me. Because I am very, very happy to provide one-to-one sessions for a bit of mindfulness, a bit of Qigong instruction, a little bit of hypnotherapy or life coaching, just 30 minutes for a small donation. And all I ask is that there is a minimum donation of £1. Hi, Mel. Minimum donation of £1 for a one-to-one session with me, which can be for anything. So if you would like a mindfulness meditation that focuses on something very specific, like pain relief or stress, whatever, DM me. I'll very happily set up a one-to-one video session. You don't have to travel. I don't have to travel. It can be at a time that works for both of us. And all it will cost you is a minimum donation of £1. Just pay what you can afford. And if you have a link to CPM, it's even less than that. So, having said that, if you want to join in with a little bit of mindfulness meditation, I would like to invite you now. Mel, I can't talk. I'd like to invite you now to get yourself settled and comfortable. Sit down, lie down, stand up if that's what works for you. I want you to be aware that your body is comfortable. So get yourself settled. Hi, Dawn. Get yourself settled. And just take a few gentle, easy breaths. And I want to invite you to bring your attention inside. And I want you to notice anything that you can recognise as being comfortable. Whether you're sitting, lying or standing, just shrug yourself in to whatever's supporting you. Just take a few gentle, easy breaths, just relax. And I want you to notice if there's any part of your body that feels really, really comfortable. I want you to know what being comfortable means. And if there's any part of you that is sending loud signals, maybe like me, you have painful joints or a painful back. Maybe you've got an itch or a bit of an ache. Just gently shift your body slightly to see if you can gently make that signal a little less strident. Get that part of your body a little more comfortable. Then I'd like you to notice your breathing. How is your breathing right here, right now? Is your breathing slow and deep? Or is it a bit short and shallow? Just notice how your breathing is. There's no need to change it. But your breath and how your breath is can tell you an awful lot about what's going on in your mind. What I'd like you to do is to pick something that you can focus your mind on, whether it's your breath, whether it's a feeling of relaxation in your shoulders or whatever, whether it's the feeling where your body is in contact with your chair. Just want you to pick something that's neutral or a bit comfortable. And just focus your attention on that. And any time you notice that your mind has wandered off, I don't want you to beat yourself up. Just congratulate yourself for noticing that your mind has wandered away, because that means you're being mindful. And then gently, just bring your awareness back to your chosen home base. whether it's your breath or the point of contact with the chair, whatever it is, just bring your awareness back to that neutral, comfortable, relaxed point. And just keep doing that. Mind wanders, you gently bring it back. Choosing to focus your attention and to use your mind in a way that is helpful and supportive. Because so often, when your mind is all over the place, as it can be, what your mind is thinking about is something that happened in the past or something that is going to happen in the future or that might happen in the future. And just for this short time of meditation, I'm inviting you to keep your focus on this moment that you have given yourself. You have chosen to do this little bit of meditation with me, with the intention of doing something positive for yourself. And that means that you are participating in your own healing, in your own health and well-being. And in the end, that's what healing is all about. It's when you choose to actively participate. So, give yourself a gentle metaphorical pat on the back and just let your attention rest in your home base, on your home base, for just a couple more gentle, easy breaths. And then let your awareness move back out. Hello Sam, I've seen you come in. Hello Dawn. Hello Mel. Hello everybody. Sorry, I couldn't really chat before. I can't really chat when I'm leading a meditation. Okay, before I close, I'm going to go back to talking about my favourite topic of Reiki, because all these videos that I'm doing under the thing of accessible well-being for all are about giving you, whoever you are, techniques that you can use to help yourself. And Reiki fits beautifully into that. Now, some of you may have gone to a Reiki therapist. Some of you will have had Reiki from me. Hello, Lorraine. But when I was first trained fully in Reiki, and I'm a master Reiki teacher and practitioner, I thought, I want to attune as many people as possible to Reiki level 1. Because that is the basic level of Reiki. That is the level of Reiki where you can use it on yourself. And if the idea of having access to a form of gentle self-healing that you can release simply with the power of your mind and a little bit of training from me, so that you can actually use it effectively, DM me. Reiki training comes under the same heading as everything else. I can give you enough in a 30-minute one-to-one video to enable you to use Reiki on yourself, not on anybody else, but to use Reiki on yourself. If there is someone in your life that you would like to use Reiki on, that will need a little bit deeper training. But again, I'm happy to provide that under the 30-minute minimum donation rule, except it probably will need more than one session. Probably will need longer than 30 minutes. In fact, it will need longer than 30 minutes. But if you're thinking, do you know what, it'd be really useful if I was attuned to Reiki, so I could use Reiki on myself, and then so I can use it on somebody I care for, then please contact me, because Reiki works with your own internal energy just the same way as Qigong does. And if you've benefited from Qigong sessions, this is just taking it to a slightly different level. It's totally harmless, even if your intention for using the Reiki isn't quite right. What do I mean? If someone's got severe pain, the chances are they need to go and see a doctor. So if I use Reiki on someone with severe abdominal pain with the intention that the pain would go away, that wouldn't be for their highest and greatest good. So almost certainly the pain would actually intensify because they need to go and see a doctor. They might have an appendix problem or something more severe. But if your intention is to give Reiki so that Reiki can provide the healing from within, which is where all healing comes from, that is for the person's highest and greatest good, you cannot do any harm. Don't need a medical degree. You just need to be a normal human person with normal human compassion. I'm glad the videos help you, Mel, so I'm having to peer because I've not got my glasses on, so I can't read what's coming up on the screen. So, if you would like a one-to-one session to learn more about Reiki and maybe become attuned, DM me. 30-minute session, no set fee. All I ask is a minimum donation of £1, unless if you can satisfy me that you have a link to Cerebral Palsy Midland. If you would like to learn more about how you can meditate on your own, DM me. If you would like me to teach you a bit more about Qigong moves, focusing on the moves that you find that maybe a move that you don't really understand, or would like me to show you a very short move set that's tailored to what you need, whether that's seated or standing, DM me. If you would like a little bit of life coaching or maybe some hypnotherapy to help you make better decisions in terms of, your eating, your exercise, giving you a bit of motivation, DM me. These are all things that I'm qualified in. I've got certificates. I am insured. And although they are all things that I do, I'm not doing them to you. I am empowering you to do them yourself. Because even hypnotherapy, if someone is resisting the idea of going under, I cannot do hypnotherapy on them. All hypnosis is self-hypnosis. So if the idea of having a little bit of hypnotherapy to help you focus on a goal or to help you focus better on, managing something appeals to you, DM me. It's amazing what can be done one-to-one through a video screen in a relatively short space of time. As I say, I'm not charging a massive amount. I ask you to pay what you can afford, what you think it's worth. Minimum donation, £1. And in a way, if you're interested in helping yourself, the benefit you get is only going to be in direct proportion to what you are prepared to put in with it. I've had people who've come to me for hypnotherapy because this man wanted help with his cannabis habit. And what he wanted was a miracle cure. He wanted me to hypnotise him so that he would never, ever, want to smoke cannabis again. And it doesn't work like that. He had to cooperate in his own healing. He had to believe that he could change things. And he didn't. And so he wasted his money, he wasted his time, he wasted my time. Because if you're not prepared to participate in your own journey to health and well-being, it's pointless. There is no magic wand. But what I can do and what I try to empower people to do is to release the magic wand that lies up here in the decisions that you take. And Reiki can be really helpful. And Reiki embodies the two things that I was asked to talk about this morning, healing and positivity. Because Reiki is all about providing healing for your highest and greatest good. And it won't work unless there is that positive intention that you will get what you need and what is for your highest and greatest good. And I repeat, anybody, I mean anybody, can be attuned to Reiki. DM me if you would like to know more. Now, I've gone on with this longer than I intended to, but that's okay. If anyone's got any questions that they'd like to type into chat, happy to answer any questions. But actually, if you've got any questions, the best thing to do is to DM me, and I'll happily chat on Messenger or wherever you contact me. And I think we'll end things there. But I will end, as I always do, by saying thank you to you. Thank you to you for watching, for wanting to do something for yourself, for recognising that you are worth taking trouble over. Because if you don't recognise that, then there is nothing that can be done. And this is why I always end with my namaste. Because namaste encapsulates my feeling that I don't care who or where you are. I don't care about your political or religious beliefs. I don't care about your race, your creed, your colour, your sexuality. You're a human being. And that means that even if I disagree with you on some things, I respect and honour that divine spark that you have within you. And that means that I know that you matter, because I know everybody matters. And all too often what I'm trying to get across to people is to get them to realise that they matter. So remember, you're important. You matter. I want to help you help yourself in the ways that work for you. And if you want to be helped and would like to know more about anything I've spoken about, DM me. In the meantime, stay safe and well. Namaste.